Hey everybody, Jeremy here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Funko Vinyl Idolz figure for Dr. Peter Venkman from Ghostbusters. Now, Vinyl Idolz is a newly released line of collectible vinyl figures from Funko, the same company that makes those really awesome Funko Pop figures. And they take the same thing that made the Pop vinyl figures so popular, and they're extending it into this line. Very, very famous and popular franchises based on movies and TV shows and such, and they're making these exaggerated figures based off of famous characters from those things. So one of the first figures available are Dr. Peter Venkman from Ghostbusters, and then we also have some characters from Napoleon Dynamite, a couple more figures from Ghostbusters as well, and later on down the line we're going to get Back to the Future and so on and so forth. It's a very nice display, and we flip it on the back, we see we have a little bit of a biography for Dr. Peter Venkman, but for the most part it is a rather large window box display for the front and sides of the figures. I was really curious as to how these guys were actually going to turn out because, I am a huge fan of pop vinyl figures, and I wanted to see when these Vinyl Idolz came out, is this something that I will consider myself to be something that I would like to collect moving forward. So without further ado, let's take him out of the box and see how good he really is. Alright, so let's take a little closer look at Dr. Peter Venkman, this new Funko Vinyl Idolz figure. So first thing I can tell you right off the bat is this guy is not light. This is not some type of hollow plastic. He actually has a little bit of weight to him. Actually really quite surprising. And the detail on him I really like. I like the different colors that they use to help add some complexity to the model of this figure. When you see like the color in between his jumpsuit is different from his elbow pads, and you see his backpack there has a little olive green type of color to it. And then we even go over to the proton pack, which is mostly black, but it does have some sprinklings of red, silver, and blue. See that little blue wire hanging out from the left hand side. Now everything on this figure is static. Nothing moves. You can't take out, you can't move the proton pack. You can't make him hold anything. This is just how he is going to stand now and forever. I want to take an even closer look here at the Ghostbusters symbol right there on his sleeve, and it looks really clean. And I think that's great. It's such a small detail just as far as getting it right with the paint, and they absolutely nailed it, and they have to because this is a Ghostbusters uniform. However, not all the paint is perfect on this guy. You can see that there's a little bit of some errant black paint there that has gotten onto the jumpsuit, but hey, that isn't too bad. And another thing that I really do like are the zippers. These zippers are really nicely done. It's a very vibrant gold color, and they did a good job with the paint on that too. And the zipper is actually seen going down his pants all the way to his pant legs. Look at that. That is a very nice detail. I really appreciate that on this guy. Now let's move back up and let's take a closer look at Venkman's face. So his face is very obviously Bill Murray. They did a good job of capturing the likeness of Bill Murray, but exaggerating it so much so that you know that it's not an exact representation of him, but it is still a good cartoonish look for him. And this is something I can see in an animated capacity as well. They did a good job on the hair. They really captured his receding hairline very nicely. And let's just take a little closer look at the back and the way it just sort of flares out on the bottom. It really creates some nice layers on his hair, and that's really good. The paint on his hair is very nicely done. However, there is some weird white paint effect going on right around here, sort of like a whitish sort of a blue type of tint that just sort of made its way into his hair, and it also just kind of spills off onto his scalp, kind of like right around the hairline right there, which just kind of shows that the paint on this guy is not perfect. Now, of course, when it comes to these type of figures, different figures will have different defects. They will have some details that are better done than others. So if you find this guy in the store and there's multiples, it'll be best just to take a good look at him and see which one that looks the best to you. But if you just buy him online, you are rolling the dice and you may run into some issues that you may not have if you were to buy him in a store in person. Now, another thing that I want to point out, what I thought was pretty darn good, was the fact that he also came with this base included in the box. This is a $20 figure, so I was very happy that he came with the base. And he kind of needed to come with the base because he was having trouble standing on his own. And another thing about this base is it wasn't the easiest thing in the world to get his feet plugged in. He does have little holes in his feet that will plug into the base because it has these two little connectors, but they weren't really lined up perfectly. So I had to get one foot in and sort of just squeeze and force the second foot into position as well. And because I did that, I do not want to remove him anymore because I don't want to risk scuffing up the bottom of the boots any more than I probably already have, and I don't want to damage anything else. So once he's in there, he is going to stay there, which is fine because this is a static figure. He has no articulation anyway, so it's best just to leave him as he is. So all in all, I do like this figure. I do like this first showing of Vinyl Idolz that Funko has presented, and I'm really excited about checking out the Marty McFly and Doc Brown Vinyl Idolz when they come out. But if this is any representation of how the rest of them are, I think these are pretty good, you know, especially for 20 bucks. I think that $20 is not so expensive for someone who considers themselves to be a collector that it will sort of price it out of the respectable price range of a lot of people, and it's not super cheap either. So it sort of lies somewhere within the middle. I think for $20 is a pretty decent price. Like I said, he has a decent amount of weight to him. He is not super hollow. If I can compare this to something, you know, like how those Hikari figures are, some Hikari figures feel very light and very hollow, and this is sort of like the opposite. This is somewhat more like a Dorbz figure, because the Dorbz from Funko also feel like they have a bit of weight to them as well. So this is more so along the lines of this. He is very solid. You know, he looks very nice. There's a great representation. He's immediately identifiable as Dr. Peter Venkman, and I am happy with this. So you may see more Vinyl Idol figures from me coming up in the future, especially when more figures get released from licenses that I know and that I will want to have displayed on my shelf. So with that, this gets my seal of approval. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and until next time, I'm Jeremy, and I will talk to you later.